Hey, winners! We're all about discipling one another to reach and raise the next generation to live out God's truth. Hey, this is the last video of 2018 that you're going to see from these two guys. I know that's the year's gone fast. I know that's depressing, but today's video, the main thing we want to tell you is thank you. 2018, we said this, and we said it was going to be the best year ever. It literally has been our best year ever in groups. Our attendance has been great. We've started new home groups. We've started new groups. We've seen D groups launch. We've seen so many people's lives being changed in groups. And we have stories every week that come out of those groups and ways that lives are being changed. So Andrew and I, from the bottom of our heart, the reason this year's been so good is because of you. And we want to say thank you. Ultimately, it's because of the Lord. The Lord brings the growth, but He's working through all of you. And we are super, super grateful, #grateful. And so we want to tell you a story, and then we want to talk to you just a little bit about some things God's doing with our sermon-based small group. So the story this week, we had a recent thing happen in our church where a lady in the community, her house burnt down, and one of our pastors saw the need that this house had burnt down and was able to, through the church, provide some funds to help this lady, to just reach out and minister to her. And she was just blown away by the gratitude she felt because of this. And she came to our church that Sunday morning, and she heard Pastor's message on gratitude. And God just radically saved her through this experience. And so Jesus saved this lady's life. Come to find out, the next week, the more we got to hear about the story, there was a
firefighter couple actually came to our group. And we were talking about gratitude. We do sermon-based in my group, and so we were talking about gratitude, and I actually asked a question. I said, how do you see others expressing gratitude? And so this couple that are both firefighters, the husband actually was one of the responders to the fire, and he said, hey, let me just tell you about what happened this week to us. And he had told us a story about this lady and this single mom and her daughter who were trapped in this fire, and they rescued her, and they weren't able to rescue both of the animals. One of them actually passed, but they rescued the turtle and found a terrarium, and they actually blessed this lady by putting this whole thing together and taking the turtle back actually to the couple, or to the mom. And as a show of gratitude, she went and she spent, now granted, she lost everything she had in this fire that she had just experienced. And she went to Dunkin' Donuts and bought 8 dozen donuts and brought it to the firehouse just as a sign of gratitude. Now, you may think, okay, that might not be that significant, but I mean, we're talking $40, $50 to someone who had just lost everything, and just as a sign of gratitude, even though she wasn't grateful for the situation, but she was grateful in the situation, like Pastor keeps telling us, and she just went and took that to them as a sign to say, thank you for what you did.
This story is so amazing. It has so many layers. So as Andrew and I were talking about this, I was reminded that week in my D group, I have a firefighter named Tim, had told me that he had rescued a turtle that week. So that's kind of memorable. Come to find out that the man in my D group, Tim, was also helping this lady fight the fire at her house. And so many touch points where the body of Christ come together has ministered to this lady and her daughter, and now her life has been changed because it's just a cool story we want to share with you guys, how God is continuing to work at His church, and we're going to try to share more stories with you. Another thing we want to tell you about is we want to say thank you. Those of you that have started trying out our sermon-based small group curriculum, we've heard so many great reports. I think we have somewhere between 18 and 20 groups now that are using the sermon-based curriculum, and we're just seeing some amazing things happen out of that. I wanted Andrew to tell you a quick story that he heard from one of our great BF leaders this week.
Yeah, so this past Sunday night, we had a pastors and deacons meeting, and I was standing there talking to one of our BF leaders, Ron Bennett. He come up to me and he said, hey, let me just tell you about what is happening in our small group. He told me, he said, us doing this sermon-based small groups that both Rick and myself write, he said, it has been so healthy for our group. He said, it's amazing. He said, I can stand there on a Sunday morning, get ready to teach, and I'll get my notes out, and I'll just ask a question. He said, and I look around the room, and he said, it's amazing because almost every single one of my people that are in our class, he said, they will get their notebooks out that are in the back of the seat backs, and they'll get it out, and they'll start looking and reviewing their notes from the previous sermon And he said it's amazing because not only are they paying attention in pastor's message, which they already have been, but they're taking notes, they're meditating on it over the entire week, and they're discussing it and living it out for the following week as well. So how powerful just even one message is, and how it can just coincide and continue through that next week and then even the following week, because we give homework with it. He said it has been so healthy for our group, and he loves doing it and loves using it. And I love it in my own small group as well. We have seen so many just life changes and just gratitude. It's amazing.
I'm in a small group at 8 o'clock that is led by Scott Jones and Brad Faulkner. And I'm also in a home group that meets in my home that's led by Pastor Grady Sutton. In both groups, we use the sermon-based curriculum, and we echo exactly what Brother Ron has experienced in his group. Yeah. People engaging in the sermon more, thinking through, listening through, applying it to life, and growing together through that. So it's really been a neat thing. If you guys, we haven't tried to force any of this curriculum on you, but if you're interested in trying it out, we'd love for you to try it out. Yeah. If you say, hey, we love this, great, keep doing it. If it doesn't work for you, we've got quarterlies. We've got those things that you guys are used to as a way to continue to go through the Bible. But we just wanted today to say thank you. We love you. And this year has been such an amazing year. And you guys are like...
You're the reason. You're the reason. I mean, it's your fault. You've done so great. So thank you for being such great leaders.
Yeah. We love you.
Don't
forget.
Have
a great Christmas. Okay. Cool. No BF, 23rd and 30th. We have a
Christmas
Eve service. 4 o'clock.
One service.
4
o'clock for the whole family. It's
no child
1 hour.
Bring your kids.
Yes. It's going to be a great...
It's going to be packed out.
You're going to come early.
See ya. We can't wait to see you this week.